Hey, you guys, it's Cyrenese with another Poised Conversation with my husband. Today, I want to share with you guys a tidbit of our conversation for our 2019 recap. As you guys know, we have tons of conversations, but we wanted to share a very deep and emotional part of that conversation, which was going over what went right, what went wrong in 2019, and what we're planning on doing for 2020. So this will be the last of these one-off conversations, and if you listen, you'll know why. Hope you enjoy. Now that we're gonna have more time on our hands for 2020. I kind of want you to kind of spill the beans a little bit. I don't know why, it just feels a little bit a little better when you do it.
No, I'm coming over to Poise. I don't
No,
know.
you're going to be helping out more with Poise, and it's really exciting because this whole time you've been kind of sprinkling here and there, helping a little bit in the background. And now it's going to be more of a team effort to really push Poise forward, because one of the main reasons that I started Poise was to empower women and millennials to feel confident with their finances and to handle their situations with Poise. And I feel that us building our emergency fund, getting out of debt, and now working together is really going to be a really good push to continuing that metaphor and what we want to do as a team.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm really excited as well because I think the beginning of this year, gosh, it's like this year has gone by so fast. We put out the high five banking method, and we kind of put it out there. We're like, let's hold it for a little bit in 2018. And then we put it out right in the beginning of 2019. And it's been such good feedback that even my husband and I were like, wow, this is crazy. It was featured on Forbes. People are asking me to be featured on podcasts. People are so in love with it. And we weren't sure at first. We were like,
I mean, it worked for us.
It worked for us. We weren't sure if it would work for other people. We're very cautious that what works for us might not work for other people. But it's always good to put our strategies out there and say, you know, if it worked for us, it might work for you. You might have to modify it a little bit. But this has been a game changer for our finances. And just seeing how it's blossomed and how it's helped so many people, I'm excited to keep on pushing the high five banking method for 2020 and even do some speaking engagements. I am ready to get out there and scream it to the top of the world.
Booker, you guys, Booker.
Oh my gosh. And I do have another.
We're just dropping bombs today, huh?
Another thing that we're going to be doing.
We have been quiet for a while, so I'm pretty sure people are like, man, it's been weeks, or has it been months? It's been months since we did one of these. So yeah, it's been a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes.
Yes, so we're officially going to be doing the Poised Conversation. Right now we've been doing these one-off conversations with my husband, and we've gotten so much good feedback, and it's all been positive. And the funny part is that it's been a lot of husbands that are very pro the conversations, because it's opening up the conversation of finances and marriage counseling at a certain point.
Yeah, I think we do have a good balance, but it's also because we talk so much.
We do.
So
talk
by
a
the
lot.
by the time we get on here and we're actually talking, we've probably talked in our space probably 3 or 4 times about it, right? Not the actual conversation we're going to have, but the subjects.
Yeah.
You know, with us being under the same roof 24 hours a day, you can't do anything but talk and articulate your point. And when our points aren't necessarily connected, the only thing that kind of brings them together is time, communication and time. So, I mean, I'm excited to officially bring it to a podcast. So it will be on all the major platforms next year. And let's see how it goes. I mean, I think we have quite a bit to talk about. We didn't know that people were going to care about what we talked about, but I mean, the feedback was really nice. And then, like I said, for your audience to be 95% women, and then a lot of your feedback is actually coming from guys who they're
sharing it with their wives.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting because now they're both getting involved with their finances. And that's the whole point. You know, if you're married, you got to be involved, both of you guys. And I don't know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
And the topics will be heated. They will be hot.
There are a few more things that we have that's probably going to be coming out next year, but we're going to hold those as surprises.
Oh, okay. I'm like, how much tea do you want to spill, baby? He's like, don't say everything. All right. The next thing is our happiness, which we've really, 2019 has been a really happy year. Nothing really crazy has happened as dramatically as 2018 or anything, which I'm so grateful for, honestly. How do you feel with the kids going to school and the transition here in the household? Now my daughter goes to preschool, pre-kindergarten, technically. And how do you feel with that whole transition now that we've been switching it up? Like you're working, I'm going to the gym with Lee. It's a little
It's
different.
cool. I mean, I didn't really feel the difference at the beginning because I was still on my normal routine. So I think you probably can explain how it changed for you more than it did for me. The only thing I did was a few times that I end up going up to the school, which was a kind of cool thing because, a lot of teachers don't expect the dad to show up like at 11 o'clock in the afternoon in the morning, or dropping their kid off. Like they drop their kid off, but like having to come back up there and, "Wait, why aren't you at work?" That
I
whole
don't
thing.
work, and I'm like, we do work.
We had a situation though with bullying, and we both did go up to the school and articulate our feelings about it and everything like that. Um, but it was an experience. I love the fact that she's in school. I can definitely see her growing. She will not stop talking now. As a whole. And I think that you are getting a little bit more free time to, work on poise or to spend more time developing Lee.
Yeah, and it was a little difficult with her going to school, like you said. She talks, but like, you know what I mean? Her vocabulary is not always very clear. And it was really hard with the bullying, trying to find out what was going on, why she didn't want to go to school. Because realistically, she is the happiest kid in
Yeah.
the class. Even the teacher was like, there's no other kid that's more excited to come to school than Raylan. She's such a happy baby or happy little girl. And I think it's interesting to have to depend on other little kids and other moms and create relationships with other moms who are going through very similar things and finding out that their kids are also being bullied. All the after school activities, all of the class activities. My daughter's teacher has me doing arts and crafts on a hardcore level. But it's interesting. It's different. It's like, wow, before I did cookies because I wanted to. Now I kind of have to. I did arts and craft projects because I wanted to. Now I kind of have to.
I didn't know how competitive I was until we had that one time where they were talking about doing
The
the
pumpkin?
pumpkins, and my wife came home and she was like, "Oh, like yo, it's some dope pumpkins up there," and I was like, "What? Some pumpkins up? Oh, they ain't seen our pumpkins yet, right?" And as soon as I actually saw the pumpkins, I realized that it was on the level of like
Little kid
little
level.
kid pumpkins because I was about to pull the Avengers out. I was about to do Disney princesses on a couple of them. I was gonna paint, carve, you name it.
We did a really cute pumpkin. We did a little snowman pumpkin. Everyone was like, oh my God, how cute.
I had to pull my competitive nature out, let my wife handle
We
it.
had to pull it back. Yeah, but it's been really interesting now with the whole family dynamic again, with Raylan going to school and everything like that. And I think one thing that we found out this year was that our son has autism
Oh, he's on the spectrum.
on
He's
the
a little
spectrum,
behind. Um,
but now he's
I
getting
don't claim it.
okay, but he is getting therapy every day now.
Yep.
So it's going to be a very different dynamic 2020 where Raylan's at school, Lee's getting his little teachers coming in every single day. And it's going to be a kind of like if they were both in school. So it's going to be a very different dynamic. I'm not really sure how we're going to handle that, if it's going to be very overwhelming or if we're going to be more tired. But I'm really happy that you're going to have some free time to help out.
Exactly.
Because as of right now, the routine is I drop Braylon off and Freddie picks her up
Hmm.
from school. And that way I can have time with Lee. And I think that's a big thing that we're going to be pushing for 2020 is education and giving the kids all of the help that they need. We've been practicing a lot with the ABCs, shapes, puzzles, you name it. We've been doing a lot of activities. And one of the reasons that we've been really quiet on social media for the past few weeks is because we're kind of getting our house prepared for the new year. You know, we converted our kids' playroom into a full-on little
Classroom.
classroom
Yep.
realistically since he has class almost every day. We've been organizing our garage with our home bulk. We've been organizing the way we buy groceries for our juices and even think like we're kind of really focusing on fixing up the house as much as possible to make it as functional as possible for 2020.
Yeah.
And it does take some time and energy. So that's one of the things that we've really been working on for 2020 and hopefully we just keep on maintaining it for all of next year because it's going to be a pretty busy year.
Yeah, and I mean, my mom always tells me this, and whenever I get overwhelmed, she'll always remind me of it, where God doesn't give you too much you can't handle. Whatever He gives you, you can handle. And so, with the stuff that's coming up with Lee, the stuff that's coming up with school, the schedule changing, it was we were positioned for me to pull back on work a little bit. Everything works out. The reason why we can handle things with poise is because God's allowing us to handle it with poise. He's given us the ability, the strength, the patience, the funds to be able to make adjustments when need be, and just having the ability to kind of take our time and just maneuver through it. We do a lot of planning. Don't think that we sit here and we take our blessings and we sit on them. Like,
No.
everything from our schedule to, like, you going to pick her up or am I going to pick her up? Can you go to the gym? How do we maximize this? Where's the budget? Are we maximizing the budget? The money that we have here, can we pay some other bill up? Like, we're constantly strategically thinking about our life. And between that and God intervening, I'm not worried about next year at all. I think we're going to be good.
No, I'm not worried
Oh,
either.
okay.
No, I'm not worried. No. God has always blessed our family, and I'm very confident that the strategies that we're putting in place are going to be very functional for 2020.
Yep.
And I'm excited about that. Again, we've been very strategic with our money, very strategic with our new routines that we're going to be having with our health and our family and our education for our kids. So I feel like we're really doing the grunt work that's necessary to make 2020 a success. And I'm excited as well.
Cool.
Very excited.
So I have a question. What do you think was, it's random, what do you think was the biggest disappointment of 2019?
2019. Can I say the truth?
Yeah.
Not really handling our investments.
I agree.
Well.
I personally agree.
Like, we maxed out your contribution, but I feel like we could have maxed out mine a little bit more.
Yep.
The investments could have been more on point with the timing. The investment allocation was beautiful, though. I will say that. Oh my God. Beautiful. But other than that, it's more of just actually taking action on it.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the biggest disappointments, that I'm like a little disappointed because I know we could have done better.
How did you feel with all your traveling this year?
Overwhelmed and tired. And I think, like, you always told me, oh, babe, traveling for business is not as luxurious as it may seem. At times, it was a little relaxing, like at night when everyone went out. But realistically, like the day to day, it was a lot. It was very tiring. It was almost like if I was doing a video, a YouTube video, like all day, because it's like so much energy that has to be put out to be, yourself all day, especially at FinCon, at the Dave Ramsey event. Even went to my grandma's in New York. You're always entertaining someone and talking to people. And you're trying to be your best and have deep conversation. Deep conversations are very draining. They are very draining, especially when you're having them for a long time, with a lot of different people. So, I don't know. Traveling for work is a little different than for just vacation or just for relaxation.
Told you.
Okay, you win, Freddie. You win. What do you feel like was the biggest disappointment for 2019, other than the investments, of course?
I think I was a crappy husband. And I know I say that all the time, and you look at me like, what are you talking about? But basically, the way I look at it as, I know how to provide. I know how to protect, right? I focus on that. So when you look at the whole year, the one thing that I did not do well was be your boyfriend.
Oh yeah,
if that's the right word.
No,
yeah.
it is.
So like the way we were when we were dating, the way when we got engaged and leading up to the wedding, and even before we had kids, like, we just moved a different way. Like, I would walk past you, I would give you a kiss, we would give hugs, we would do this and do that. And you know what I'm saying? It was more of a romantic type thing where we didn't have to spend a lot of money, but you knew that it was something there. Now I feel like I've transitioned to like, yo, the bills are paid, you good. Right? Like,
oh my gosh.
Yo, I set that post up for you. You great, right? Hey, I cooked dinner here. You don't need anything else, right? Like, it was more functional. as a whole. Like, we were working on Poise, working on my company, Creative Fit. We were dealing with the kids. We were working on Poise Kids. It was so much stuff we were working on
You're exhausted.
I got to a point where whenever you would come by, I'm like, don't say nothing to me.
Oh
Right.
my gosh. And then
And it
I
was,
get really emotional and like excited about like poise content. You'd be like, oh my God, please don't talk about anything that says the word poise, please. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm like, Pierce, how about Pierce? How about that?
I mean, it was just, I'd leave a 3-hour meeting and then I'd come downstairs and the next thing I know, you're like, babe, I have an idea. And you're talking, but I'm not listening. And it got worse and it got worse and it got worse to
and
the
I
point
got more excited.
you were getting to the point where you would be asking me for stuff and I completely forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Or like you be motivated on something. I couldn't trigger that motivation. You know what I'm saying? And to me, being a good husband isn't necessarily the poise thing either. Being a good husband is just, making sure you're all right, giving you a hug. I buy you flowers, but I think at a certain point, I was just buying you flowers to say, fuck, you worked hard too. Here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to deal with them badass kids. Like, that was the thing that I was giving you a reward for surviving. You know what I'm saying? The environment in which we created versus buying you flowers just because I love you, just because,
And I feel they were pretty spontaneous throughout the year. So
it was, but it wasn't. So, I mean, that was probably to me my biggest letback on the year was that if I'm not careful, I'm going to become a really shitty husband. And I'm not trying to lose my wife because I'm such a great dad. I'm a great provider, but I don't see you anymore. Like, I want to see you.
And that happens a lot with relationships when it's all about money or it's all about, work, or all about the family, all about the kids, you do tend to lose the relationship. So we have to keep on working on that.
And they've made it almost standard.
It's easy.
It's a joke. Like, it's a joke in comedies. Like, oh, the moment you do this, you stop having sex. The moment you get kids, you don't do this. The moment, you know what I'm saying? Like, they say it and then you realize it's real. You're like, because this is a company. The Pierce family is a company, like budgets.
You have to run it as a company. And that's the unfortunate part that a lot of people don't want to do. They're like, I already work at a company. I don't want to run my family like a company.
Right.
But to be a successful company, you have to manage the books. You have to take inventory. There's so much that has to happen for a business to be profitable and to keep on running, to be maintained. And that should not be anything different with your family, realistically. We all have to eat. We got to pay bills. We have to clean the dishes and then wash the clothes. There's so much that we have to do as a family. It's almost like it really is a business.
Yeah, and I mean,
you have to think of it like that mentally.
And I think, like I said, when the kids beat you up, like sometimes you want to look at like, baby, I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't think I'm being a really bad mom right now. It's like, no, you're not. You're doing. You know what I'm saying? Or like you do all your videos, and sometimes you just don't feel as beautiful as you look. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like I do enough in between the times to like remind you of how beautiful you are and do those things that really will let you know, like, no matter what happens out there, I got you right here.
Yeah.
Beyond just money and all that. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually, with Poise, you might retire me and turn me into like, you might be my sugar mama.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, you're so hilarious. It's interesting. I feel very, very fortunate and very blessed to be in the position that we're at. And I think that a lot of the hard work that people made fun of us for doing, that's the reality. People were not happy that we were on our debt-free journey. They were very concerned with us starting a business, very concerned with us having kids back to back, very concerned with me not working, me starting Poise. Everything was like, it wasn't what they were expecting. And now that it's starting to work out, it's very motivating to be like, we know what we're doing. We're focused on what we're passionate about and we feel passionate about this. So we're going to continue it. And now seeing that this passion is really going to evolve in 2020. It's a lot of hard work that was put in.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't want to do the hard work because they're not sure if it's going to come up to some fruit at the end of the day. But just thinking about the stress that we've been through and how we've been able to reduce that, to me, that's worth it.
Yep.
Because stress can kill you alone.
Yep. And if you guys noticed through the whole conversation, we have not talked about New Year's resolutions because we don't do them. We
We
do
really
not
don't.
do New Year's resolutions. We get our shit together every year. We literally find ways to get a little bit better every single day. And that just happens to transitions into the next year. But New Year's resolutions are easily broken because you're too busy trying to go with the trends and pick something and focus on it. And what we do is we just spread it across what we're already doing and
Just improve on it.
just improve on it
Like
and have
1%
the
at a time.
conversation. Have the conversation about it. Get your partner on board. They will help you out. A lot of people try to do it on their own. Do not do it on your own. If you have a partner that's willing to be there with you, it makes it a lot easier. My wife juices for me. I make sure that she can have her me time. I help her with her business. She helps me focus on my business. Like there's a lot of things that we do as a team that's allowing a lot of this stuff to be possible. Yes, you could do it by yourself, but when you're married, why try to separate it?
Yeah. You're married, be a team.
To be a team. And I never, and I know we're about to end it, but I never got that to where it was the fact of the matter is that sometimes people have partners that they can't work with. And I'm like, if you can't work with your partner, the person you chose to spend the rest of your life with, how are you supposed to work with anybody else?
That's true. I think we get that a lot. How do you
Yeah,
work with your spouse? It's so
it's
hard.
easy
I'm like, he's
because
my
I
best
can
friend.
I can still say what I want to say.
I definitely say what I want to say. I think everyone knows that.
We're pretty honest with each other.
I'm
Like,
pretty straightforward. I've never sugarcoated that. I'm very straightforward.
yeah.
But that is going to wrap up our 2019 Poised recap. And hopefully 2020 is a blessing for us as well for you guys. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.